Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and this one is a little bit different because I actually received a package in the mail today. I just won this eBay auction for $100 and got this BNSF H2-9 C44. This thing is beautiful, and usually I would upload this on my other channel, but I'm not going to be doing that for unspoken reasons. But yeah, I won my first auction on eBay ever, and it ended up being a fully working -9 H2 4324. It's definitely a pretty thing. These are already made out of metal all around, so that's nice. Really comes in handy for the realism part. And I had my doubts at first because it was very light. Like usually, so you guys can see the front there. Usually powered locomotives are really heavy. Well, this one was really light. And I was trying to think, man, am I just losing my touch? Because I have other engines. I was like, oh, I don't know, maybe it's just getting light for me because I'm so used to it. Thank God it ended up being that. The seller said it needs to be lubricated pretty well and needs some TLC or tender loving care. But yeah, I think it'll fit right along. And for those of you who don't watch both of my channels, if you go out here, this is the layout we're working with here. Its backstory is just it was an old Christmas layout. Well, it was gifted to me, and now I'm modeling an HO and BNSF in a year of BNSF. Like, we got this shelf I got probably a few months ago from Menards. It's ironic, I know. I got some decor we got up here. Got some vehicles. None of them were actually in the right scale as well. And the boxes right here, we got, this one's another empty. All these boxes are, I do believe, the California Zephyr. Yeah, all of these boxes are do-it-yourself. You gotta put it together. California Zephyr passenger cars. By Athearn, which is surprisingly what that one was made by too. And then right up here we got some Illinois Central stuff. Like for instance, we have the Illinois Central coin. It's hard to see through the camera, but sorry. And then we also have the Building of Mid-America, published by the Illinois Central Railroad for 100 years. And then down here we got the extra stuff. Like these are 2 F7 units that were destroyed in the flooding. Well, possibly, we don't, not 100% know. The shells are fine, but the insides we don't know. Got an F7 war bonnet and a blue bonnet. And then all the way down here, right here by Athearn, we have a Southern Pacific B unit. It also needs to be assembled. And then, no longer the most recent addition is a Burlington Northern SD60 Mac, a BNSF B40 fake bonnet, and a BNSF ES44 C4 in the H3 livery, which is actually the first engine I ever got. I got it so early I didn't even have a layout for it yet. You know how fun it was just not being able to mess with it because there's nowhere to do anything. And then in this box, we'll go through inventory really quick because I got nothing else better to do. So these are John Deere crates. My father got them from his job at PPG. Apparently there's just so many that just don't, nothing ever happens with them. So he asked his boss if he could take some. His boss said yes. I went and put all the rolling stock into here, and the locomotives are in the bottom. So starting off, we have an old ATSF or Santa Fe. I want to say this is an animal carrier. I'm not sure, because that's one of the older ones. We're probably, I'm modeling in BNSF, but I'm also trying to stick in like the 21st century, but like something that's Burlington Northern or Santa Fe, I'll let slide, because obviously BNSF still has some of their older units running around, but something like the Great Northern locomotive, probably I wouldn't ever run, just because that's a little too far back. The Great Northern, like a rolling stock that just says the Great Northern, yes. Same with like the Burlington route. I probably wouldn't ever run a train for the Burlington route, but anything related to BNSF, like Montana Rail Link, that could definitely fly in this layout. This is one of the more earlier things that we ever got, was a Union Pacific gondola car. So, a cheap one. My father got these two off of eBay, actually. We got a Texaco old tanker. This thing's really, really heavy. Moving on to the much newer recent stuff he got off of eBay is a BNSF tanker. Now, this one is actually really special because that one is supposed to run right with the BNSF Command Center. This thing is exactly what it looks like. It's a firefighting caboose for BNSF. In every picture I have seen, it looked exactly like that. The caboose, and then this right before it. Next, we have another one of the earlier ones where I got at the same exact time as this, a Burlington Northern gondola car. Moving back into the 1900s, we got a Burlington Northern caboose. Always careful, apparently. Got a little bit more modern H1 BNSF caboose as well. This one I personally like a lot because the H1 livery, even on their locomotives, is a favorite of mine. I mean, if anything, I'd pick the H2, but at the end of the day, they're all beautiful. We got an old Burlington route, hopper. Yeah, grain hopper. And then we have a Burlington Northern boxcar, kind of a older one. And then we have a Burlington Northern grain car as well. Now obviously, we're going to have all these weathered at some point. And then we got the Burlington route boxcar, Everywhere West. And these doors, if you pry them open enough, the doors open on both sides, so that is really, really cool. So that right there. And this is definitely one of the ones we'll probably never be running. It's a ATSF, Ship and Travel Santa Fe, all the way. This one is not only really old, it's also all the way back in ATSF. But this seems like, judging by how the boxcar is designed, it's probably the early days of ATSF, so probably might not run that. Moving on to one of the more modern stuff, we have a Burlington Northern already weathered coal hopper. It's got the counterweight right here, but only issue about these ones is it appears that that counterweight is not enough, and one of these ones always derail. That actually came with two. It's another Burlington Northern, slightly less weathered, but look at the trucks. Look at that. That is fine work. I did not do this personally. I bought it off of eBay like this. Moving on, we have probably actually my favorite is a BNSF coal hopper with coal already in it, counterweights, and it's weathered to all hell, but you can see that's the Burlington Northern Santa Fe sticker, so this is like early days of BNSF. Moving on, we have another Burlington Northern boxcar. And then we have a BNSF flat car that is meant to haul something. I have no idea, but it's BNSF, so it works. A modern BNSF boxcar, and these doors open as well. This one's a little bit difficult, I don't know why, so we're gonna leave it like that. I'm doing it with one hand here. Then we got another Burlington Northern boxcar. And then one of the first two boxcars I ever purchased was the Burlington Refrigerator Express. Look at that thing. It's a boxcar, refrigerator boxcar, but damn, that thing's beautiful. And then last but not least, we got the tallest boxcar ever. It's a modern BNSF. Oh, I guess not that modern. Still got the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railway sticker. So yeah, that's all that. And here is all the engines. Obviously, we got some random stuff in here I just decided to put in there. So let's go through. This does not count. Let's go through what we got. First, I totally forgot the model of this. This is a Burlington Northern something. Everything's plastic still. This the motor's in there somewhere, but it's the shell. And then let me get this out of the way real quick. Then we have a Burlington Northern, I want to say maybe GP38, GP40. And this one I kind of got bamboozled on because there was only, okay, this one I took a gamble with. There was only one, maybe two pictures of this thing in the box, and the seller did not mention that there was a huge crack down the shell. So yeah, asshole move on that guy. Got a motor for maybe that one. And then we got a modern, which is this one, hold on. This is a GP25 BNSF H3 3123. Most of the handrails are obviously missing, but it's still a great working engine. It's been tested, runs very well. And then we have a GP38-2 BNSF H1. This one is beautiful. Like I said, that H1 is just really nice. Got the Burlington Northern Santa Fe sticker on the hood. Speaking of hood, we're going to go look at a Santa Fe high hood. Maybe GP7, GP9, I'm not sure. But it's I think it's either high hood or long hood. It's one or the other. 30, 35, 60. It's just a normal war bonnet for Santa Fe. This one is one of like the oddball units. We don't have anything that really looks like this at all, so we're definitely going to keep and run that. And then we got a Santa Fe war bonnet. Nothing too special about this guy. And then we have our very own Burlington Route Everywhere West with the Zephyr MP15 DC 9271. This thing is, Jesus, it is beautiful. There's obviously no handrails, which is unfortunate, but at the same time, it is very beautiful and it runs very great. And here it is, the man, the myth, the legend, Santa Fe 307 War Bonnet F7. Wait, yeah. This was actually given to me as my second ever locomotive from my father's father. Pretty cool. Fully functional, absolutely nothing wrong with it. And then we got this GP something. Actually, wait. I have no idea what the hell this is. It's definitely one of the oddballs, or I guess you could say it's a foreign power, because this is CSX. What are you doing in here, CSX? This is one of the earlier ones that my dad bought off of eBay and was going to use it for parts, and I said, oh, but it looks so pretty. So I'm hoping something can be done with this. So, who knows? I'm hoping, but... So as I put this back, I'm going to explain to you guys a little bit more about the layout. Already got a lot of plans for it. Still kind of working on it. Like, it's supposed to have running water, but my father's father has informed us that the ceiling probably has to be resealed in some parts, otherwise it'll leak. So we still have to do that. That way it won't, doesn't leak, because we don't want that. It's going to have a few interesting things on the layout, such as probably not a functioning gate crossing, but it maybe at least, I'm thinking maybe a sign that just says railroad crossing, or maybe we'll do one that at least flashes. Not sure. We are thinking of drowning a Canadian National boxcar. And yes, that is very specific. I have a personal grudge about Canadian National, but I'm not going to say why, because you cannot express your opinion on the internet without people getting really mad at you. So instead of taking that risk, I'm just going to shut my mouth for once. And we are thinking about using a small structure that actually came with that box that's already on the layout. We're thinking of using that as like a little office where we can store some maintenance of way vehicles. Probably just gonna do a few pickup trucks, maybe like a track cleaner or something like that. Something that would make sense for the rural area, because in my opinion it looks like this is in like the middle of nowhere. So yeah, that's cool. But give me a second here. And then on this table, we have some recent ones as well. We have another Santa Fe with the Indian Chief logo, war bonnet. Another Santa Fe war bonnet. A Penn Central switcher. And a Santa Fe switcher. I mean, yeah, that's just the shell, but the motor's right there. So, anyways, I'm not gonna run this on the layout. I already did about 10 minutes ago, just to make sure it actually had a motor in it, because I had my doubts. It did, needless to say, but I'm not going to run it yet, just because of it needing to be lubricated. It needs tender loving care, is what the description said. So whenever my father can take a look at it and take it apart, he's really good at cleaning these things and making them pretty. I don't know how he does it, but he's kind of like an engineer with these things. He knows what he's doing. So I'm gonna have to send it off to him to get it worked on and lubricated and stuff like that. But I'll let you guys know when it's actually ready to be ran with all the other ones. Until then, I know this is definitely an interesting video, one of my more longer ones, but do not worry. I have 2 videos yet to be uploaded of rail fanning in LaSalle once again. One of them was actually featuring a new friend of mine on YouTube. I cannot remember his YouTube name, I'm not going to lie, but his name is Mark Baker. He actually is a really, really nice guy. He's a rail fanner as well, and usually goes to the same spot as me, but typically sees the switcher. And he usually, there's a business, that switch I showed you guys, you know how I said it went to a business? Well, early in the morning, Iowa Interstate comes down and gives them new hoppers, while a single engine, so basically Iowa Interstate pushes cars up the line, and then a company called Buzzies comes back over a bridge and takes those cars out of the yard and takes them back to where the engine came from. And then they also do some switching for quality liquid feeds, I'm assuming, because those cars do move around mysteriously. Like last night when I was down there, they were in a different order than they usually are. So I've never personally seen it, but he gave me a lot of useful information. I also met someone else, one of his long-term friends that is actually really great friends with Iowa Interstate, it turns out. So that was cool. But anyways, I'm not going to drag this video out to be the longest one I ever made, but I figured I'd upload anything HO layout related to this channel, since the other one I'm not uploading videos on for just temporarily. It's a whole thing. I'm not gonna explain it because I personally don't want to, but everything is going to be posted on this channel because who knows, maybe people like seeing trains on this one more than the other channel. But with all that being said, you guys have a great rest of your morning, your day, afternoon, night, wherever, whenever. Yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.